What's going on, Fanout Crew? Welcome back to the channel. I'm your host, Colby Sullivan, joined as always by my hetero life mate, Jonathan Agricola. Jonathan, what's going on, man?
Oh, Colby, if there was ever too much to talk about in
Dude.
one possible stream, I
Yes.
think we're there right now. It's over the moon with what we're about to
Yep.
talk about this
We
evening.
we had way too much on May 27th. Like, we aren't even going to be able to talk about Obi-Wan tonight. Matter of fact, let's go ahead and you want to get that one out of the way real quick?
Yeah, let's really quick about Obi-Wan. I am just going to say that we are going to wait. We are going to hold off doing any kind of review about Obi-Wan Kenobi until we see the entire thing in its entirety. Ladies and gentlemen, we are aware that if you watch our reviews or our discussions about the Book of Boba Fett, we are not the most chipper or pleasant of people talking about that show. So we're going to wait.
What?
We're going to
What are
wait.
you talking about?
Yeah, dude, I swear. And so at the end of the day, I believe, myself and Colby, we stand by our opinions about the Book of Boba Fett. We do wish we would have handled talking about that series differently, and so we're going to talk about Obi-Wan Kenobi differently. We're going to watch the entire thing, see it in its fullness, and then we'll give you our review about it. So that's what we're going to talk about. That's all I'm going to say about Obi-Wan Kenobi.
Yeah, agreed. I want to wait until the show is over and then we'll do a full review of season 1. I'm looking forward to the rest of the episodes. I'll just say that.
Yeah, me
Um,
too.
so let's get right into it, man. You saw Top Gun Maverick today, in fact, right?
Yes,
So
I did.
so you and I have not had a chance to really talk about it because
Oh,
you just saw it. I saw it last week sometime. So just initial thoughts right off the bat. What do you got?
oh my God. Okay, so if there was, when you ask an actor, hey, what do you think about this old project you did? And what are your feelings on it? And then the actor's like, oh, I don't try to dwell on the past or anything. I tell you what, I will call Tom Cruise a liar if he has not thought about the character Pete Maverick Mitchell for the last 30 something years, because there's so much heart and love for the franchise in this movie and with these characters that they don't miss a step, man. They don't miss a step. I just think, like, the idea for doing another Top Gun movie has been in the back of Tom Cruise's head for 30 years. I think that, and because again, it's like putting on a pair of shoes where he could have easily phoned this in, and he could have been on screen, but like, no, we go back to 1986. Maverick Mitchell has not grown a single day. He is still the same character. He just has a little bit of resentment from events that happened in the original Top Gun movie. Other than that, man, everyone plays their part to a T. I don't know, like, feel bad talking about Val Kilmer's character, but he is in the credits, ladies and gentlemen. Like, he is in this movie, and
It's
I was
not
still
it's not
shocked.
really a spoiler, I don't think. I mean,
Yeah,
yeah.
and like, it was good to see Val on screen again. Him still recovering from throat cancer. It's good to see him in there. Good how they kept the spirit of Anthony Daniels. Right? No,
Edwards. That's C3PO.
Edwards. Yeah. Anthony Daniels is either. Yeah, Anthony Edwards alive with Miles Teller playing his son Rooster. Dude, it is a great
Is,
ride,
is
man.
that perfect casting or what? Like, he looked
It's
just
amazing.
like him,
It
dude.
is
Dressed like him,
amazing,
you know?
man. And again, I think I made this mention last time we talked about Top Gun / Maverick. All of us, and me and Colby will sit here and tell you, we are huge nerds. We love our Transformers. We love our Star Wars. We love talking about movies. We love our Marvels. We love talking about all these different types of movies and franchises. However, there is another group of people. For some reason, Top Gun is the one thing they nerd out over. It's just like they love Top Gun. And this is a love letter to those guys. And you could, like I said, a movie where they do like, very, very beginning of the movie is Tom Cruise being Tom Cruise saying, hey, look, we went the extra mile to bring you this realistic storytelling. And it was great, man. You feel it. You feel it every single scene, man. It is amazing. Not say enough good things about Top Gun Maverick.
Yeah,
You, Colby, what'd you think?
yeah. I mean, dude, I don't know that I've seen a better sequel in years. I mean, they just don't make movies this way anymore. And I don't mean quality. I don't mean to say that. I mean, there are good movies out there, but like, you don't train actors to go into F-18s and pull 10 Gs. I mean, like that's not a thing in real life, you know.
Oh my
and
God.
I just was sitting there in the theater watching this, especially the third act, and you're just like exhausted when this movie is over, you know? Because I mean, the action scenes are just so intense and so well done, and I was flabbergasted at how just perfect this movie is. I mean, it's not perfect. There are some cheesy things, but I mean,
Yes.
it's so much better than the original movie. I don't think you have to even watch the original movie to really appreciate this film. It connects enough of the dots for you. But if you do watch it, you get all those little connective tissues with Penny Benjamin kind of showing up and the stuff with Goose and all that stuff. And it's just like you said, man, he has not missed a beat. He has been Pete Maverick Mitchell for the last, X number of years. He hasn't changed. And it's just great to see a movie made this well with this much, on the line. I mean, like, the theater industry needed this movie to come out. I mean, it really did. This was supposed to come out in 2019, I think. I remember seeing the trailer like 3 years ago, and this was just a great movie.
It was also pushed because I remember it was supposed to come out around the same time as Black Widow in 2020. Pushed it back into 2020, and then of course we all know what the hell happened there. I'm so glad they waited, man. I am so glad they didn't shoehorn this movie into HBO Plus or drop it on Disney Plus or some kind of streaming platform. Because Colby, I am still a little jealous because I know you saw it in IMAX, and I did not. I did not watch it in IMAX.
Yeah, it was nuts, dude.
Not if, but when I go back and see it again, it will definitely be on the IMAX. Because I completely appreciate everything so much, man. When they're flying 100 to 200 feet off the surface of the ground, and it's real. They shoot it with the high. This isn't like military training footage. Oh no, they spend the money, use the right cameras, use the right gimbals, where you don't miss a beat, and you feel it. You feel the energy. You feel the plane move when you watch this movie. I think that's where like all the strong suits are. Now, again, all the cast of characters were great. You had your cocky, your stereotypical cocky Navy pilots. You have your self-doubting Navy pilots, and you have those pilots that have something to prove.
And then you have Bob.
Then you have Bob. Bob is like, I'm here. I'm a weapons guy.
I won't spoil it, but Bob was he knew what was going on. He was good at what he did, and it's just the whole like you touched on it earlier, how they put so much what did you say, like they felt so much for the characters or for the love of the characters or something. And I would take it a step further, and just the love of filmmaking. Like, you just don't see these types of movies made anymore. We talked about it last week. Tom Cruise is one of the last, if not the last, true action movie star. Dwayne Johnson's there too, but he just, this is his first movie. This is crazy. I heard this on John Campia's show, and you may have heard it too, but this was Tom Cruise's first movie that made more than $65 million in its opening weekend. And that is like I would have thought at least 3 or 4 of the Mission Impossible movies would have done that, right? 65 million was his top gross. This made over 100, like, easily. It's actually made the most money of any movie in the last few years that wasn't like a Disney or a DC property. And it's needs to. Like, you need to go see this movie. Like John said, he didn't see it in IMAX yet, but he's definitely going to. I highly recommend it if you can find an IMAX in your area. It's just takes it to another level. And dude, that opening scene is frame perfect. Like, it's the exact. I mean, I'm not spoiling any stories, but the opening like credits is literally the exact same scene from the original Top Gun, but with
so good,
but with F-18s instead of F-14s now, and and when you hear Highway to the Danger Zone, like I started like fist pumping in the theater, dude. I was so ready.
You know that there is only one place that that song belongs, and it's in Top Gun.
Yeah, for
You're
sure.
just like, you could, it could be just a dialogue scene between Tom Cruise and Jennifer Connelly, and Highway in the Danger Zone or Highway to the Danger Zone would be playing in the background. You're like, you know what? It fits
Yeah.
because we're watching Top Gun.
Yeah, and I like how it like there was definitely nostalgia and there was callbacks to the original, but I didn't feel like they were completely cheesy or overused. Like the the football scene is obviously meant to call back to the volleyball scene, but it's not the same scene. It's different. I don't know how the hell you play offense and defense at the same time. That was that was wild. But they put a song on the jukebox and I'm thinking, oh God, here comes you lost that love and feeling, and it wasn't.
Yeah.
And it was just like, okay, it makes you think about it, right? And it's just that I really have to hand it to the actors in this movie, all the pilots. I mean, they're in the plane. Like any shot that you see in the cockpit is a real shot. They're not flying the plane. They're in the back seat of a Super Hornet because they have a 2-seater variant, and they're in the back seat, but they are pulling G's, and they're not really acting. They're just trying to not pass out. And
they're not just
I
pulling
love that,
G's. They are pulling a lot of G's.
Yeah. They said at one point, when they were climbing out of the little valley there, that their body was like simulated, like they were weighing 2,000 pounds at that time and stuff. Like, dude, no, like those guys gave it their all. There's no way I could do that. I mean, this was just such a good movie. And not just because of the fact that it's nostalgic and all that and has all callbacks. Like I said, you don't have to watch the original to appreciate. This is just a great movie. They don't make movies like this anymore, and it's a shame because this is an instant classic for me. I've got it at like a 9.5 out of 10. Like I really had nothing negative to say about this movie. I mean, I just it's cheesy when it needs to be, but it has so much heart. The characters are all very fleshed out, and it's just a great movie.
There is I scored it an 8 out of 10, which again, that is nothing to scoff at.
That's like a monster score, dude.
Yeah. So I scored it 8 out of 10, and it's only because, again, my personal opinion, it has nothing to do with the actors, it has nothing to do with the special effects. It's just at some points during the movie, to me, it just dragged a little bit. You know what I'm saying? You go from these high pump, this high octane jet fighter scenes into here's some story about Maverick and his love life, and I completely understand. Totally. And those scenes, to me, just again, they pumped the brakes a little too much for me. But other than that, man, it's great. It is an amazing freaking time. I thought it was really cute. Spoiler alert. I'm going to spoil this because it doesn't really play into anything else that happens in the movie. It's the first time we see Tom Cruise in the Navy on a boat. He made a little scene where he is sailing a boat, and she brings it up.
Like an actual, like not like an aircraft carrier, but like on an actual, like right,
a boat. So yeah, we actually see Jennifer Connelly, and she's like, "This is what, like, welcome to the Navy."
Like, he doesn't understand the terms, and he's like, "I'm a pilot." Like, yeah. Good stuff.
I thought that kind of stuff was great. But yeah, man. So if you're listening to me and you take anything that me and Colby say seriously, go see this movie. It is a definite must watch in the theater. I can't stress that enough, and it tells people that you will go see more stuff like this. These movies that they put so much time and effort and love and attention into, you will gladly fork over the $10 to $15 to go watch this movie.
Yeah, because they could have just used CGI if they wanted to, and just not done all the real pilot stuff and all that. And it may have been good, but it wouldn't have been like great like this is. And it's just that extra little bit of detail that you can just feel it. You can just in the theater, you're in that cockpit with those actors, and it is intense, man. That third act is, I mean, man, it's so good, and it's great. It's great. Like it never really stops. Like it has action that's got heart. It's got some humor in there and stuff. I saved your life. I already, like, what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And it's really great. Go out and see it. I've never really been a Tom Cruise fan as far as like his like personal stuff and all of his like Scientology stuff, but honestly, like I couldn't care about any of that in that theater watching this movie because it's so good.
And really quick, if I had to talk about, you touched on that third act, right? The entire movie, almost the entire movie, is preparing for that third act.
Right. It's that third act is 100% earned because it's set up perfectly.
And when we get there, you know what's supposed to happen. When it's actually happening on the screen, you're like, this is still amazing. You know what's coming. You know what's going to happen at the end of this movie, or in the third act of this movie, and it happens, and you're still like, oh my God.
Yeah, and the first one,
incredible.
The first one, they graduate, and then like literally at the graduation ceremony, they're given their orders to go, help this disabled ship, and you're like, okay, what's gonna happen, right? And it happens, and it's like it's cool. Yeah. But in this movie, the entire setup, the first and second acts are essentially training montages to get ready for this mission in the third act. And when it happens, it's like you said, you know exactly what's gonna happen, but it's still like you're on the edge of your seat, dude.
It's so good. Anyway, we can just we go back and we start talking about every scene where the end of that sentence is going to be, it's so good.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, man, I think you get to John and a Colby stamp of approval. Go check out Top Gun Maverick.
All right, let's switch gears a little bit. I'm gonna throw you a curveball. You ready for this?
No, please don't. Please don't. All right, I'm ready. Hit me with it.
All right, so now we come to the part of the show that we like to call, or when I say we, I mean I, because I just made it up. Answers without context.
No.
Are you ready to play?
No.
Are you ready to play Answers without context, John? So,
oh God.
Wait,
okay, tell me the rules.
All right, I'm going to give you, in honor of Stranger Things, I'm going to give you 11 questions. You are going to give me an answer as fast as you can, without thinking, without context. So, for example...
First up, if I may, I want to apologize for however many times I say fuck.
None of these, these are all easy. These are all easy. So, for example, I'll say, like, this is not one of them, but I'll say, Jonathan, what is your favorite college football team?
I would be like Auburn, because I don't have enough time to be creative.
No context. All right. All right, you ready?
Okay.
It's 11 questions. Here we go. These may or may not be multiple choice. I may give you choices. I may not. It may be all up to you. Ready?
I know this is a terrible practice, but I usually try to look at the camera, but I'm actually going to look at you. I have Colby on my screen to my left.
I got to look down.
I'm looking at Colby.
All right. I got to look down to read the questions. All right, ready?
All right, hit me.
Which one is better, the prequels or the sequels? And obviously, I'm talking about Star Wars.
Prequels.
Prequels is incorrect. Question number 2. Question number 2. What is the best Lord of the Rings film?
Return of the King.
What is question number 3. What is the best video game of all time?
Oh my gosh. Video game. I'm going to, again, because I play it all the time, without context, you said, Mega Man X.
Oof. Okay, number 4. What number am I thinking of?
1.21 gigawatts.
1.21 gigawatts is correct. Number 5. Name a better sequel than Top Gun Maverick.
Is Empire Strikes Back a sequel?
Sure. Number 6. Right. Best MCU film.
Avengers Endgame.
Number 7. Best TV show of all time.
Stranger Things.
Number 8. Disney World or Universal Studios.
Universal Studios.
You're dead to me. Number 9. Is Phase 4 of the MCU a hit or a miss so far?
It's a hit. They're still making billions of dollars, so hit.
Number 10. What is your favorite Transformer?
Optimus Prime. Cop out. Optimus Prime's my favorite.
And finally, number 11. Is a hot dog a sandwich?
Oh, hot dog is a hot dog.
Correct. All right, that was the best I can come up with in like 5 minutes. I was like, yeah, let's kill a little time. So, dude, that was 2 minutes. Jesus. All right, we need.
When you say don't think about it,
It's
I'm not
hard.
gonna think about it.
It's hard, man. Like, I mean,
Right?
you know, we need to do more of these. Maybe next time you'll come up with 10 and ask me, because I mean it's difficult, especially on the spot like that.
Oh, yeah, it's tricky. It's really, really hard.
All right.
I would hit you. Yeah, I'm already.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Write them down.
Gotcha.
Write them down.
Gotcha.
All right. So speaking of Stranger Things, you have that as the best TV show of all time. So
Best. It's the best one.
So what are your thoughts on season 4? Obviously, if you are watching this or listening to this will be a spoiler review of the volume 1 of season 4. So
yeah,
go watch Stranger Things and come back, or
oh my God,
be a normal person and I've already watched it like the rest of the world. Go, John.
Or be a normal person and watch like one episode a day, in which case, if the time Friday rolls around, you'll be able to come over here and watch this video.
Yeah.
Dude, I have never not wanted a show to end so much in my entire life.
Not wanted. I totally heard that wrong.
Wanted.
I was like,
oh yeah,
what?
Oh no, like, because now my brain is like, no context, but now I can tell you context. By the time Game of Thrones rolled around, the end of Game of Thrones, I was ready for it to be over. I was just like, let's get this out of the way. And that's because I started to fall out of love with Game of Thrones. I mean, there's tons of arguments out there that will go on and on about how not good the final season or season and a half was of Game of Thrones. Stranger Things, from the minute I hit play, this is season 1, episode 1. And Will Byers gets taken by a
Hooked.
force that is, dude,
hooked.
And then that red font of Stranger Things and the theme song and the theme music kicks on. I have not let go of this show at all. I am, and the other thing is, it's just like, oh my God. Now, probably the hardest question I could be asked about Stranger Things: who's your favorite character? Oh my God, I would not be able to do it.
Oh, it's easy for me.
Oh, who's yours, Colby?
Take a guess.
Jim Hopper.
No.
Then I don't know.
Dustin.
Dustin is so good. I'll tell you what. Yeah, Dustin. If he's not number 1, he's a number 2. But how they make you love, like, especially in season 4.
Let me interrupt for just 1 second. Steve is pretty fucking badass. I'm just gonna go ahead and just.
See, that's what the point I was about to make.
I know answers without context is Dustin. With context, it might be Steve. It's weird.
Oh my.
Anyway, yeah, go ahead.
So Stranger Things, they have had 4 seasons. We got our initial cast in the first season. If I'm not mistaken, at the end of the first season, the only death in the entire series was Papa. We believe Papa to be dead.
Correct.
At the end of the first series.
Yeah, I think that's true. Yeah.
And the Demogorgon and 11 disappear. That's all we get.
Well, there's, I mean, of the major characters, yeah, of the people that aren't chasing her or whatever,
In season 2, and you're probably thinking, well, you got to kill somebody off if they want to keep adding characters. Nope. Season 2, we get Billy, Max, and are those it? Are those the 2 main characters? Is Billy and Max? Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, because we don't get Murray until 3. By the way, Murray is legit, dude.
Oh my God,
he's so good.
I'm sorry. Then and Barbara, like Justice for Barb.
Yeah.
Anyway, so you love every single character that is on the screen. You love the 2 police officers that are just below Jim Hopper. They are characters. They have personalities. You like when they're just writing stuff down. You're like, I'm so happy you're there writing stuff down on a piece of paper.
Can we talk about how like it's so cool to watch the new sheriff? Like he's completely changed. He's completely changed his shtick because like he's the guy now. He can't be the smart ass. Like the other guy with the mustache. It's like I appreciate that.
Dude, yeah. And again, so if we're going into we go into season 4. We are introduced to Argyle and the and
Argyle is so funny, dude. He's awesome.
Eddie. Eddie,
Eddie is incredible, dude. Oh my god, where's he
like,
been?
Oh my god.
I was shocked at how awesome he was because like he's only in like a split second of the trailer. You know when he like shows them like the Dungeons and Dragons thing, and he is incredible, dude. Like this guy's
one
awesome.
Scene, and I don't know where this is going to pop up in the show, but in the trailer there is a scene of Eddie playing some guitar riffs in
That's
the
right.
Upside
Yes,
Down.
I forgot about that. Yeah,
I cannot wait for that scene. I think it's going to be this season's edition of Never Ending Story from season 3. I think it's going to be like, or maybe he's just doing like, just rocking out and he's doing a thing and you're just like, man, this show blows my mind at every turn. And like even the people that have perished this season, Chrissy, Patrick, and Fred. Like, how do I remember those characters?
Yeah, that's a good point.
You know?
That's a good point. These guys are basically just like fodder
for
Vecna, and we know every single one of their names, dude. That is a good call, dude. Like,
dude,
these deaths this year, I mean, they have really stepped it up with the horror.
Oh my God.
I mean, like, holy crap, dudes. I mean, some of this stuff is really, really bad. Like, I'm surprised this one isn't TVMA for this season. Personally, I mean, it's
that scene where that scene where Fred's in the car and his scar opens back up.
Yeah, dude.
The police officer is like starts to turn into this otherworldly being, and you're like, it's scary. It is a scary scene. I would freak the hell out.
The very first one where Eddie is in the trailer with Chrissy and he's seeing her like in some kind of trance, and then she just gets lifted up, and then, dude, it's terrifying, dude. It's terrifying.
And so you're literally okay. So they're just going to be straight killing people.
Yeah, I like how they're like every time a new villain shows up, like, you know, it just ramps it up. Like the kids thought that the Mind Flayer was running the show in the Upside Down, and then the Vecna was his, what do they call it, his 5-star general or whatever. Yeah. And it seems to be that it's even like reversed. Like Vecna is running the show because of how it got. Let's talk about that end scene just for a second. So my interpretation of that scene is that the Upside Down existed as some kind of void already, and it's like some other plane. Yeah. She sends him there, and he's so full of like malice and hate that it like basically like attaches to him, and then all of then it becomes the true Upside Down.
Yeah,
and it was really just the thing that was out there with nothing there. Is that kind of what you're thinking?
I'm thinking, yeah. I am going to believe that this other dimension, it's turned into the Upside Down.
Yeah, it was always there. Yeah.
Spoiler alert, 1. You know, it gets turned into the Upside Down by 1. I think now how huge that is going to be going forward with Stranger Things, I don't know. But now it was season 2. We got that episode with 11 going on a little road trip. She wants to. At the end of the day, she just went to go find her mom, and then she bumped into. She just kept going on this road trip and bumped into another person that escaped Hawkins' lab. Now that's kind of irritating now because nothing has come from that. You know, and so but at the same time, I don't know if the series creators acknowledge that. Like, you know what, people didn't care for that. Let's not go into that anymore. Or is something else gonna happen with that? Is 8 gonna show up? And regardless, I think it'll be awesome. I do not. I don't know where I'm going with this thought.
I'll kind of take over because I think I know where you're going. I don't think they're going to go back to that whole storyline because I think the purpose of that story was 11 was, you know, trying to find her, like you said, find her mom, and I think she realized like she already has a new family, and like her new family, Mike and everyone else is who she needs to be with, and protect and stuff. So I think that was just a one-off little story, and that is the one episode of this series that is the only true weak point for me. And I say weak point, and I'm talking like an A- versus like versus like an A plus plus. I mean, it's right.
Yeah, it was just like, oh yeah, that's the weakest one. Still a pass.
Yeah, I mean, exactly.
So, but yeah, geez, man. And now I'm just trying to think. I don't want to talk and just ramble on about different scenes. I'm trying to figure out how I could convey how much I'm going to miss all these characters. I like. It's so cliche to say we've grown up with these characters, and I haven't grown up with these guys. I've just gotten older, and these guys are growing up. I'm like, man, I think we talked about this last time, Colby. You go back and you see that first episode, and it's our four boys around the table playing D&D, and they're riding their bikes home at dark. We're like, that's how it used to be.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's what having friends was.
The dad cracks me up, dude. Like, he's like, and it was season 2 or 3, and like they're looking for the kids, and he looks at his wife. He goes, "Do you know where our children are?" She's like, "They're probably doing something." And like, that's how it was. And like the dad is awesome. Like, he has these little one-liners and stuff. He's only in a couple of scenes, but like he always like has something to say. And
Dude, always.
And like the scene when they're like getting interrogated by the cops or whatever at the little like rally they were having, he had cookies in his hand, and I'm like, yes, like it's perfect, dude. That's who that guy is, man.
He is everyone's dad. He is the embodiment of everyone's
He's basically
dad.
me now, and it's like, damn, dude.
Just language.
Yeah.
Our kids no longer live here.
Yeah,
just
exactly.
Like, every line our fathers have ever said is coming out of his mouth. What was the one? Oh my God, he's just had so many. It's like, what I do.
Right.
You need to just like, what did I do? I'm just a dad. I'm sitting here doing the thing. But yeah, I mean, and again, we know him as Mr. Wheeler, I guess. I know he has a first name. That's the one first name I can't remember. Now, if you think back to season 2, when Mrs. Wheeler was in the bath, she was yelling for him to go get the door. So so if I go back to that season, I can figure out his first name. But just another character that doesn't need to be that good.
Yeah,
and when I say
exactly.
that, it's just like, wow, he was that good. He's just like, oh, it's Mr. Wheeler.
He has a handful of lines in every season, and he like steals every scene he's in, and it's incredible.
Well, yeah, we'll do our part. We are all Americans in this household. I'm sorry. All right. Let's go into
let me say one thing. So I have one very, very slight nitpick with this season, and it's because I have to like find something, right? Like, I can't just say like this is all like perfect. My one slight, and I mean like slight, like the freaking human hair width gripe about this is like the characters are still divided, right? In an hour and 40-minute finale, did we see Mike and Will and Jonathan at all in that last episode? And I'm like,
no, we did not.
And I'm like, okay, they've got to get together at some point, and I mean, I know that's happening. It's just, it's weird because like I want them to get back together, all like kind of like the Game of Thrones thing, how the Starks were never in Winterfell. I want it to happen, but at the same time, it's like I'm still fully invested in every single one of these individual stories. Like Argyle cracks me up, dude. When he first met Eden, I saw the look on his face when he like walked into the room, and I was like, yep, he like, dude, that
and that's another
so
character.
So
how
good.
do we know? Like when you said Eden, I know who you're talking about.
And she has what, like 3 lines,
If that, geez, man, God, it's so freaking good. It's so good, man.
Did you know ahead of time that Robert Englund, is that his name? Robert, was Victor Creel? I did too.
I did not know he was Victor Krill. I knew that he was somewhere in this series.
Oh, gotcha.
I knew he was going to pop up somewhere. But then as time went on, I was just like, This has got to be Robert Englund. They're not going to bring in. I mean, he's got to be an older gentleman. You know, he's not going to be like a creepy groundskeeper or something. I think I think I did. I read somewhere online some article that said his last name was Krill or something. So I knew it was going to be. I think I knew it was going to be Robert Englund showing up in a crazy nut house or something. He was going to be an old man in the show.
It's crazy because like I knew it ahead of time, and then they're walking down that hallway, and I'm like, God, this is Silence of the Lambs like revisited.
Yep.
You know, it was perfect.
Yep.
And then he shows up, and I'm like, oh right, I knew that already, and I was anticipating it, and then he turns his head, and then the thing, and I'm like, holy crap, dude! I don't know why I'm not spoiling it. I mean, it's in the trailer, but like, it's, dude. He's a legend. You know, this guy is a legend, and he could have phoned it in if he wanted to, and he kills it in this like 2 minutes that he has talking. You know, I mean, this show is freaking incredible. Like this is so far this is the best season of television that I think I've ever seen. Just
dude,
like period.
And the other thing, it's like, how do we get to there, dude? The scenes where Robin is in Nancy's room, and then Robin and Nancy are at the desk of the lead doctor at the psychiatric hospital, trying to convince him to take. Like, it's so just awesome. I'm laughing. I'm loving everything they're saying. I am like, these chicks are about to get into the psych ward.
Yeah, right.
And I'm like, this, man. And I don't want to say it, man. It's just like, I think I was watching John Campea earlier this week, and they make a lot of comparisons about season 1 of the MCU. When you make it look easy, you expect it.
Yep, I heard that too. Yeah,
to be good all the time. And so now, first, this entire series, not just this season, this entire series, it looks like it's just easy to do, man.
Yeah, they're just filming it. It almost looks like they're just filming it in like one take and then like printing it,
Oh
you know,
my
like
God.
done. You know, it's like they're so good. You know, like they just make it look easy.
But I watched this. I watched an episode of I think it was like a GQ interview with Jonathon, who is his real name, Wheatley, Charlie Wheatley.
Yeah.
And he was talking about there's a scene in season 4 where they are just hitting golf balls, him and Argyle. And they said that they got out there, they got ready to do it, and it rained. And they said they got out there, they started the scene. It's right next to an airfield, so a plane would come by and they'd have to stop. Then you see that scene, and you have absolutely no idea how long it took for 2 actors to hit 3 or 4 golf balls apiece and talk about a line talk about Jonathan's love life and how there's weed in a backpack in the van.
Right. Yeah.
And then you understand that was their day of shooting. You know, it's
God,
like
I'm in the wrong business, man. You know,
it took an entire day to film that. And again, when you say you make it look, it's like you would never. It's like if I was sitting on your couch, Colby, and we were watching that scene together. It's like, oh, did you know that it rained that day and it was close to an airfield and planes kept coming in and they had to retake these shots over and over and over again. It took an entire day to film. I'd be like, where is that?
Right.
You
Yeah.
know?
It's kind of like back to Maverick, where like the pilots make it look so like you just feel like you're in the plane with them, and it looks easy. Oh, you just throw a camera in there, dude. Like, you know, I mean, they're in there, right? And like, I don't know, dude. This season has been like season 2. I remember season 1 and season 2 being really, really good, and I remember season 3 being really good overall. But season 3 took a long time to get going. You know, it was a lot of like setup for a huge payoff. And this one is just balls to the wall, dude. Like they're like, you know what? We're not messing around anymore. Like dead. You know, like it's just right off the bat, man. And you nailed it when you said you watched the first couple episodes, and then you said that like even the new characters, like you love everybody in the show, even the new characters. The new characters are great in this season. Eddie is like incredible, and Argyle is just hilarious, and it's like dude, I don't want this show to end, man. I mean, is there going to be a season 5? I think this is it, right? Like,
No,
I mean,
no.
I don't know.
I read this on Facebook today. So I want to look it up. Duffer Brothers said. The Duffer Brothers said season 4 is not the end.
Oh, good.
Of Stranger
Okay.
Things. That's all they said.
I wonder if they're going to go that route, like we talked about with the like whole anthology series thing.
Or it's either going to be anthology or it's going to be a movie. Going to end it with a movie.
To wrap it up. Yeah.
And I'm completely content with that. Give every single person that has ever worked on Stranger Things that big fat Hollywood blockbuster check. Release it in a year or two. I'll be completely content, and then we can go home.
Yeah.
But as it stands right now, man, I think. Hang on, I'm gonna Google it real quick, Colby, about how long these last 2 episodes are gonna be.
I know the episode 7 was like an hour and 40 minutes, so I anticipate 8 and 9 are over 2 hours at least, right? I mean, they'd have to be, or at least as long as 7. Speaking of which, did they release 6 and 7 early, or well, like what happened with that? Like, I thought they originally were gonna release 5 episodes and then 4 episodes in July.
Yep. That was the plan. The original plan was that we got we're supposed to get 6, 7, 8, 9 in July.
I really like where they ended it though. Like,
yeah,
that scene where they're in the trailer, the kids are in the trailer, and then the older kids are in the upside down, and they have the rope between the different rooms and stuff, and then they show them climbing, and then the camera pans between the 2 different worlds. That shit was insane. And then like they say Steve and Nancy say like see you on the other side, and you're anticipating that Nancy's gonna make it and Steve is the one that's gonna get stuck behind, right?
Yep.
And then they switch it and Nancy gets stuck, and it's like, damn, dude, like they know what's up, dude. It's so good,
dude. And how about that transition scene where all 8 of our characters are on bikes?
Oh, dude. Oh, my God.
Location.
I thought that, too. And I was like, because that was right after the whole Light Bright thing, right? Which, by the way, was freaking perfect. And I'm like,
oh, my God.
And I'm like, damn, do they,
So
I'm thinking, like, do they have some way to communicate mobily, like, while they're doing this? Because I'm like, how do they, like, all get on the bikes at the same time and time this perfectly? And they were, like, lined up. And I was like, dude, this is like, this has been the best season of TV that I've ever seen. Like, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's a good word for it.
All right. So we have 2 more episodes left in Stranger Things season 4. Episode 8, hour 25 minutes.
Okay, that's still pretty long.
Episode 9, 2.5 hours.
Woo! Okay, so that's still 4 hours roughly of content left, which is to say 4 normal episodes. You know?
Yeah.
So damn, dude. Yeah, that's I got time for that. and it's. I'm glad they finally have. We don't know how. I guess we saw Hopper and Joyce and Murray just like rescue him, but that was it. How the fuck are they gonna get back, dude? Like, this is nuts.
See, we have no idea. Now, what's cool? Again, you only see this in the trailer because they give you a Volume 2 trailer. You actually see the Dust Cloud Mind Flayer in a cage, and you see Hopper looking at it. So I believe in Russia they also have Mind Flayer caged up.
So I know they have the whole like, you know, tunnel and stuff between the 2 different areas, but like I haven't seen that trailer yet. I was wondering if they were gonna bring the Mind Flayer back in just to kind of like the full culmination of all the villains.
Yeah.
Vecna is just utterly just terrifying to me because
scary.
He can show up like anywhere. Like he doesn't have to be. You don't have to be in the upside down for him to like, you know, kill you, right? And it's like it's just nuts, man. Like the whole time, like I really thought Max was gonna die, and then when she you know they did the whole music thing, and I'm like, he could still attack her like at any second, right? And I thought when she was running towards the gate and he's bringing down those like things or whatever, I thought for sure like the very last second she was gonna get like impaled or killed. Like I was fully prepared for her to die, and because that's what they get. Like that's what they set it up. They were like, look, no one's safe in this, you know, and I'm fully expecting that someone of our main group is going to die at this point. Like, I don't know, man. I feel like 11 is going to have to, just to kind of do the whole sacrifice thing. We'll see. But
we'll see.
I mean, dude, I've never been so invested in an entire cast of characters my entire life. Like you said this is the best show on TV. Before you said that, my opinion was the Game of Thrones was the best show on television. As poorly as it ended, doesn't take away from the fact that it was excellent for 7.5 years. Whatever. Okay, I get it. I understand the issues with the way it ended. I didn't love that, and I was fully invested in that show for the most part. But there were certain scenes where I was just like, okay, this is a waste of time. Like, get on with it, right? That's never happened in this season. In fact, the only time I've ever said that in this show at all is when 11 was going away to do her little thing, and the whole thing is because you know she's going to come back, right?
Yeah,
like, that's it.
But and I think we're waiting at that point. Again, you'll notice that what you said earlier. My point is, I want my cast together. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
As much as I love their separate missions that they're on, I want Hopper standing next to Dustin, standing next to Murray, standing next to Robin, standing next to Eddie. I want our heroes in a final standoff against whatever the hell they're going to throw at this bad guy at the end.
Dude, Murray cracks me up, man. With
oh my god,
he's so funny, dude. With his with his karate shit and he when he disguised himself as Yuri, I was like, oh my god, dude, this is actually working. Like, this is working. Like, this is believable. You know,
dude. What's really messed up is you think it's a throwaway scene where he's like, I have karate. Fridays 1 to 3.
Right.
It's like, no, he's a fucking black belt.
And he whoops the fucking, Russian army or whatever, he whoops their asses. And I'm just like, damn, dude, Murray's legit.
It's so good. Yeah, I keep saying those words. It's so good because it is, Colby. I am nothing left to say.
That's been the theme tonight is like, Maverick, it's so good. Like, Stranger Things season 4, Stranger Things period is so good. I want more of this, man. Like, I don't mean Stranger Things specifically. I mean, I want more stuff like this, Like, I miss Goonies, and I miss, I miss movies like Goonies, and I miss movies like, remember Big Trouble in Little China? Like, like, you can't make those movies anymore. And it's a shame, man.
Recently, Diana and I just watched Free Guy.
Oh my god, dude!
Free Guy was amazing.
Yes,
I love Free Guy.
That was just such a breath of fresh air, dude. That movie was so good.
Another good one that I didn't think had any right to be as good as it is. I don't know if you've watched Rescue Rangers yet. That is a great movie.
Dude, holy crap! When they brought out Real Sonic, I lost my shit. And Janina didn't get it, right? And I'm like, you don't understand. Like, this was like his human teeth were a big point of contention for the internet, and dude, they zoom in on it. Oh,
both Chip and Dale.
Oh my god, dude. Yeah, you want to talk about a movie being far better than it has any right to be? I mean, yes, absolutely. Cameron has watched that shit on repeat, dude, for like 2 weeks.
It's so, man. What is it, Colby? It's so good.
It's so good.
It's so good, and because I think it is, you break away from a lot of the tropes. Who was it? Our buddies over at Momentum Media just made a video where the big thing that the MCU is lacking right now is direction. Like, where the hell is it going?
Yeah.
And
we've talked a little bit about that too, and it absolutely feels like it's in that. Like, the thing with the MCU for me is phase 1 through 3 was like this circular thing. Right. And now they're basically having to start over. So like phase 4 is essentially phase 1 again. But now we have like, you can't go back. Like, this is post Thanos. This is post Celestial with his hand in the earth. And it's like, there's got to be we need some closure, So anyway, if you guys like have stuck with us this long and have not watched Stranger Things, I mean, good God, go watch the show, dude. It's incredible. And please go out to the theater and watch Top Gun Maverick. This movie is so good. It it just like the whole time I was just smiling. I was smiling the entire time from beginning to end, dude. It's so good.
Yeah. I can sit here and pour my heart out about Stranger Things, about
Yeah,
how
absolutely.
amazing this thing is. I wanna find everybody involved with Stranger Things, give them a huge hug and tell them thank you so much.
Yes.
Or just like, man, it's great. I'm not gonna say perfect, but it is. Fuck it, I will say it. It is perfect for me.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like watching.
It's made for us and for our generation, like specifically, but like anybody can watch it. It's like my mom's 75 years old and she like loves the shit, you know, and it's such a good show. I mean, I wouldn't watch season 4 with kids, but you know, it's just such a good story, man. It really is.
And
Yeah.
about 100% honest, full transparency. If somebody was to ask me, I'm looking forward to a Top Gun movie, I'd have been like, I'll take it or leave it. I mean, I'm going to go watch
Same.
it.
Yeah.
And then I am so happy that they did it and they made it. And this is not a cash in project. This movie deserves every single dime that it makes.
Yeah. I first heard about Top Gun 2 on the Jim Rome show on ESPN. That's how long ago it was. Like, I swear to God, like 10 years ago, you know? And I'm like, holy crap, like, they're not making this movie. And then I saw the trailer and I was like, oh my God, whatever the formula is, they figured it out. And, we need more movies like that. Not necessarily sequels to 80s projects and stuff, but just movies that are made with true passion and love for the characters, but also for the filmmaking process. They could have CGI'd the crap out of this and it you know, all that, but you will like the experience is just not the same. And do not wait for this movie to come out on streaming. Like, go see it in the theater. The biggest screen you can. It's so good.
Yeah. I knew exactly what you were talking about as I'm sitting there watching these flybys and jets interacting with other jets. I'm like, I gotta go bigger. I have to go watch this on the big screen. This is guys, again, pour my heart out about Stranger Things. I am above and beyond excited about how good Top Gun Maverick was. It's amazing. It's a great time. Both like I was spoiled this weekend with how much incredible content came out in the entertainment industry.
Yeah, it was. I mean, we had Obi-Wan, we had Maverick, we had Stranger Things, and it was just a nice long weekend and everything. So we had like everybody had time to enjoy it all, and just like this is what I missed about going to the movie theater and just experiencing a film the way it's supposed to be. Like, this was true cinema as far as Maverick. So go out and see it. You guys will love it. John, you got anything to say before we wrap it up?
I hope. Oh, do we have 2-3 minutes to talk about Willow?
Oh yeah, for sure. We forgot about that.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
Oh my
God.
Let's go. All right, so let me tell you about my rabbit hole, Colby. I had heard from a friend that the documentary Val about Val Kilmer was really touching, and I had not watched it, so I went to watch it.
It's so good. Again, so good.
In the process of watching it, I was talking to Diane, and she doesn't remember a whole bunch of stuff that Val Kilmer was in. I was just like, oh, you've never... It's like, well, he was Mad Mardigan in Willow. She's like, well, I've never seen Willow.
What?
So guess what we did after we watched Val? We watched Willow.
Got it. We broke up? Like, oh, okay.
So anyway, after we watched Willow, I was just like, man, I forget. Like, okay, yes, there's a lot of campy stuff that happens in Willow.
Sure.
But it is an amazing fantasy story. It is just, in its roots, it's just an amazing fantasy story. And then, because I remember when I watched the trailer for the new the new Willow series coming out, I was just like, I don't know how familiar I am with this. After I watched Willow, the movie, first thing I did was rewatch the Willow trailer, and oh my God, I'm excited. Yeah, I think it's being made by people that know what those roots within Willow are, and they're going to expand on those. So really excited about the Willow TV show coming out. I have no idea when it is. I usually have these pages pulled up with some release dates,
Well,
but I do not know when Willow's coming out.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to look for that, but Willow was one of my favorite movies growing up. Just period, not fantasy movies, just movies. It's funny. It's got heart.
November comes out the end of November.
Okay, it's perfectly paced. It's the traditional hero's journey. He doesn't want to do it. He basically has to. He accepts it. It's such a wholesome story, and I don't know what their plans are as far as story wise for the show. I love the fact that they have Sorsha back. I'm fully on board for this. Dude, what a great time to be alive, man. I mean, just like, even like we nitpick the shit out of Boba Fett and all of that. We got to see him escape the Sarlacc, dude. Like, we got to see, there's so many stories that we haven't seen yet in Star Wars, in the MCU, everything. And it's just a great time to be alive, man. When you're a nerd in the 80s and the 90s, life wasn't really that easy a lot of times.
No,
and it's like at some point, like, we won and didn't realize it, and it's like, now we're like, get to like, I don't know. It's awesome, man. It's great.
And now we have Jane Hopper hitting those bullies in the head with a roller skate.
Absolutely. Oh my God, dude. Wow. Dude, I'm such a my wife is such a nurse. She's like, she's gonna have a concussion. I'm like, yeah, like,
I think that's a great way to end it right there. We the nerds are fighting back, and not fighting back. We're winning.
Yep,
we're winning.
It's so good. All right, guys.
So good.
Leave us a comment. Appreciate you hanging out with us. Look out for some more videos soon. As always, fan out. See you guys.
Now, guys.